Cadets score 4 in the top of the first. We begin in the home half as Easton Walker gonna lift a sac fly to center field. C.J. McCartney will tag and score. Now 4-1. Bottom two. McCartney takes ball 4, and then Logan McVeigh crosses home on the pass ball. McCartney catches the Cadets sleeping there. He'll take second. The threat would end there, though. Grady Hessen gets the swing and the miss on the breaking ball. Damage done, though. The Patriots continue to creep closer and closer. And Peyton West was fantastic today in relief of Easton Walker, ending the top of the third with a backwards K. Now South threatening in the bottom of that inning until Walker pops up the bunt and Hessen pounces on it. A double play to put an end to that rally, but Patriots would bounce back. Seth Monarchik brings them within a run with a sharp single right back up the middle. Now 4-3. And South looking for more, but Hessen gets out of it with a punch out. Now it's Fort Frye who's looking to add some insurance runs, and Jack McCurdy delivers, roping one down the right field line to score Wyatt Dusky. They'd add 3 more and go on to win 8-4.